Welcome back, warriors. Today isn't just another video. It's the moment. You choose to shift your mindset. Because what you're about to hear isn't just motivation, it's a wake-up call. Nothing in life changes just by thinking about it. You have to act even when it's hard. You may not be the smartest, richest, fastest, or most talented, but if you're disciplined, you're unstoppable. Discipline beats talent, builds habits, and creates warriors who keep going even when tired, scared, or broken. Real discipline means keeping promises to yourself, like waking up when you said you would not because it's easy, but because you respect your own word. Champions like Cristiano Ronaldo don't always feel like training, but they do it anyway, and that's what separates doers from dreamers. The key is to focus on what you can do right now, not yesterday's failures or tomorrow's fears. Discipline is about taking one small action in the present, again and again until your life changes. And remember, both discipline and regret are painful, but only one leads to the life you truly want. Choose discipline, choose your future. The pain of saying no to distractions is real, but not as painful as the regret of wasted time. Think about staying up late watching a movie, waking up groggy, missing your morning routine, and feeling tired, guilty, and behind only to say, "I wish I had slept earlier." That sting of regret hurts far more than the short-term discomfort of discipline. Because when you choose discipline, turning off the movie, sleeping early, waking up fresh, hitting your goals, you gain something priceless: pride and self-respect. Discipline is also about what you stop doing, and many fail simply because they can't say one powerful word. No, saying no isn't rude. It's self-respect. It's protecting your time, energy, and dreams. When your friends invite you to a random party that won't help your future, say no. When someone offers gossip instead of growth, say no. When your phone pulls at your attention but your goals need focus, say no. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you're saying no to something meaningful. And yes, people may say you've changed, but you have, because you're building a future they can't even imagine. Remember, if you can't say no to distractions, you're saying yes to a life you don't want. Powerful people don't do everything. They do the right things. Discipline is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters and cutting out what doesn't from today. Be proud to say no, no guilt. No apology, because your time is gold and your dream is not a joke. Most people chase the money, the fame, the perfect body, the respect, and when those rewards don't come quickly, they give up. But true discipline isn't about chasing results. It's about falling in love with the process itself. Like a child who plays not to win, but simply for joy. To be truly disciplined, you must become innocent in your effort work, not for applause. Not for speed, but for love of the craft. Whether anyone is watching or not, whether progress is fast or slow, clean your room like it's sacred. Study like knowledge is treasure, and work like it's your masterpiece. Because the process itself is the reward. You don't need to impress anyone or compete with anyone. You just need to show up fully, honestly, consistently, and when you do that, something magical begins to happen. You don't just change your results. You transform yourself. When you love the process, motivation becomes irrelevant. You move beyond moods and become unstoppable. Most people wait for the perfect mood, saying, "I'll start when I'm inspired." But inspiration is short-lived. Motivation is a spark. It burns fast and dies quick. Discipline, though, is the slow-burning fire you build with your own hands. Ask any champion or master, they'll tell you the same thing. Most days, they didn't feel like doing it, but they did it anyway. That's discipline, showing up without a mood, taking action without a feeling, saying, "I don't care how I feel. I care about what I promised." Just like brushing your teeth or going to work, you don't do it when you feel like it. You do it because it's necessary. Treat your dreams the same way. Motivation may get you started, but discipline is what carries you across the finish line. And part of that discipline is growing every single day. Discipline is not just about structure, it's about evolution. If you live the same way every day, same thoughts, same actions, same excuses, that's not discipline. That's stagnation. True discipline is the choice to grow, and that means learning something new every day. It doesn't have to be huge, one word, one idea, one new thought, but it must be something, and it must be daily, because daily learning keeps you hungry, sharp, and alive. You don't need a degree to grow. You need curiosity, hunger, and consistency. Every night ask yourself, what did I learn today? And if the answer is nothing, wake up and change your life. Growth isn't always loud, it's often slow and quiet, but with daily learning, you build a kind of life no one can take from you. Knowledge is freedom, and discipline is the key that unlocks it. Lastly, understand that discipline dies when we make decisions based on how we feel now instead of who we want to become. Every time you're faced with a decision, ask yourself the powerful question, will this help the future me? Because that's what real discipline is, choosing your future self over your current comfort. It's saying, yes, I'm tired, but I'll still push. Yes, this is hard, but I won't quit. And I may not see the result yet, but I'm building something meaningful. Every small action is a brick in the house of your future. And each disciplined choice you make shapes your life not with words, but with behavior. Successful people don't always feel strong. They just train their mind to listen to their vision instead of their moods. So stop asking, do I feel like it? And start asking, does my future self deserve this? And then act like the person you're becoming. Discipline starts with owning your mornings, because the first hour of your day is sacred. It sets the tone for everything else. If you begin your morning with distractions like your phone, snoozing alarms, or chaos, you surrender control before the day even begins. But if you take charge, move your body, repeat your goals, read something empowering, you build momentum that lasts all day. Even just 15 intentional minutes can shift your path, because if you don't own your morning, the world will. And if the world owns your day, you live by accident, not by design. Disciplined people don't just wake up early, they wake up with intention. Using that first hour not just to start the day, but to become stronger, sharper, and more focused. So protect your mornings like a lion protects its cub. Don't let noise, laziness, or notifications invade. That's how you slowly claim your entire life. Also, stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. One of the biggest lies people believe is, I'll start when I'm ready. But the truth is, you will never feel 100% ready. There will never be a moment where all conditions are perfect. Confidence, resources, time, they rarely all align. Winners know this, and they start anyway, with broken tools, with fear, with doubt. They act despite the mess. That's real discipline. Not having the perfect plan, but doing what you can with what you've got. You've got 10 minutes. Use them. An old book. Read it. A body. Move it. Pain. Turn it into fuel. You don't need a flawless beginning, just a strong heart and a decision to move forward. Every great person you admire started before they were ready. They didn't let fear or uncertainty stop them. They built their dream one rough, imperfect, determined step at a time. So don't let your excuses sound smarter than your dreams. Don't say, I'll do it later, because later becomes never. Say, I'll do what I can now, because that is what discipline really is. Not perfection, but persistent action in the face of imperfection. Even when the world isn't ideal, trust this, when you start with less, your success becomes even more powerful. Because real growth happens in discomfort. Discipline strengthens when you live by rules you set for yourself, not just by reacting to life, but by directing it. Most people float through their days without structure, waiting for motivation or good luck, but the disciplined write their own rules and follow them like laws. Set boundaries like, I don't eat after 9 p.m. I don't check social media until my work is done. I write my goals every night. Or, I don't sleep until I finished what I started. These aren't for others, they're for you. And every time you follow through, you build something vital, self-trust. Your mind begins to believe you, to respect your word. And that self-trust turns into confidence. Confidence into momentum, and momentum into transformation. But when you break your own rules, you quietly tell yourself that your words don't matter and that erodes your power. So don't just set goals, live by rules, even if it's just a few. 5 personal, non-negotiable rules can create a life of unshakable alignment, where your actions match your vision. And watch your language, because most people are slaves to their own words. They say, I can't, and then they live inside that prison. Change it to, I must. I must wake up early. I must stay focused. I must change. Not because it's easy, but because your future demands it. I can't is surrender. I must is a battle cry. When you shift your self-talk, your mindset changes, your body rises, and your purpose ignites. Speak like a champion, not like a victim, and your life will follow your words. And when you fail, and you will, because discipline isn't perfection, own your mistakes without drowning in shame. A truly disciplined person doesn't hide failure. They face it and use it. Most people avoid blame, lie to themselves, or point fingers. But strength lies in saying, yes, I messed up, but I will not stop here. Pretending to be perfect only weakens you. Real power comes from honesty, admitting the mistake, extracting the lesson, and moving forward. Shame is not meant to be your home. It's meant to be your teacher. Your past doesn't disqualify you, but your denial might. The longer you avoid responsibility, the more powerless you become. But once you say, this was on me, and I will fix it, you step into control. Every mistake can be fuel if you choose to learn instead of run. That's the disciplined path, not flawless, not smooth, but fiercely honest, purpose-driven, and unbreakably aligned with your highest future. You'll find the longer you stay stuck, but the moment you admit, I messed up, I was lazy, I broke my word, I let myself down, something powerful happens. You take your power back. Why? Because you stop hiding in the dark and step into the light. And in the light, growth becomes possible. Discipline isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about confronting your flaws and rising above them. When you fall but keep walking, eventually you fly. When you own your truth, you finally find your freedom. Discipline is forged not when things are easy, but especially when they are not, when you're tired, frustrated, or unmotivated. That's the battlefield where strong minds are built. Anyone can follow a routine when they feel good, but it's following your routine when everything inside you says quit that transforms you. Each time you wake up on time, work when uninspired, eat what fuels you, or read instead of scroll, you reclaim control over your life. Every act of consistency becomes a brick in the foundation of unshakable self-respect. People crave self-worth and confidence, but few understand these are not gifts, they are earned in the grind, in the silence, in the repetition. And speaking of silence, learn to sit with it. In today's world of endless distractions, true discipline demands stillness and silence. You meet your rawest thoughts, the excuses, the pain, the reasons you keep quitting, and when you sit long enough, you begin to understand yourself. Silence reveals patterns and offers clarity. It's not empty. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer, the commander, the soul. With that awareness, discipline becomes a conscious choice, not a burden. Lastly, the most dangerous and rare skill you can master is delayed gratification. Everyone wants everything now, money, success, fame, but greatness is built slowly. Discipline is saying, not now, and trusting that your sacrifice today creates power tomorrow. The masters, the legends, the extraordinary, they aren't chasing dopamine, they are building legacies. They skip the temporary high for the permanent glory. When you train your mind to wait, to delay the reward, to stay in the work even when no one is watching, you become unstoppable. You stop being controlled by impulses and become guided by purpose. That is where the real power is. Not in bursts of motivation, but in patient, persistent, purposeful action every single day. You eat junk food and feel good now, but you suffer later. You skip your work and relax now, But you pay for it later. This is the price of immediate pleasure. But when you train yourself to delay gratification, you become rare, powerful, untouchable. While others chase quick highs and burn out fast, you're grinding in silence, building something real. At month 6, when most people have already quit, you're still standing strong. That's because you're not here to be average. You're a builder, a calm storm, a quiet warrior. Your ability to wait, to suffer today for a greater tomorrow is your superpower. Remind yourself, greatness never rushes. Delay the reward, embrace the boring. Train in the shadows, because when your moment arrives, you'll be unstoppable. And understand this discipline comes with isolation. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. Friends may think you're dull. Family may question your path. And people may mock your silence or seriousness. But that's not your burden to carry. You're not here for their approval, you're here to evolve. And evolution is lonely but beautiful. Let them laugh, let them live in comfort while you rise. When they see your transformation, they'll ask how you did it. And you'll smile because while they watched, you walked. To sustain this, you must protect your energy like gold, because it is. People don't fail just from laziness. They fail by giving energy to the wrong people, wrong conversations, wrong distractions. Every argument, every moment spent proving yourself or scrolling endlessly is energy lost forever. Ask yourself every day, is this building me or draining me? Because every yes to nonsense is a no to your purpose. The most successful don't just manage time. They manage energy, focus, and space. They know not every message deserves a reply. Not every opinion needs attention. Not every invite deserves a yes. Your energy is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely. Because once it's gone, so is your drive, your clarity, and your fire. Protect your peace like it's sacred. Because from it springs your ability to grow, create, and stay disciplined. Finally, none of this works, no habit, no rule. No sacrifice without the belief that you are worth it. You must love yourself loudly, think like a leader, and trust that your future is worth every ounce of struggle. This is the thread that ties every part of discipline together. Faith in yourself. Without it, you'll break when things get hard. With it, you'll rise every time you fall. So hold on to your vision, protect your focus, silence the noise, love the journey, and walk your path like a warrior, because in the end, it's not just about becoming disciplined. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. Even if no one else believes in you, even if they doubt your dreams, question your efforts. Or remind you of your past failures, you must be the one voice that says, I still believe in me. Because without self-belief, every step forward will feel uncertain. Every stumble will feel like a sign to quit. And every challenge will seem bigger than it really is. But when you start loving yourself out loud, when you look in the mirror and say, I'm not broken, I'm becoming, everything changes. When you stop saying I can't and start saying I will. When your inner dialogue becomes filled with affirmations like, I am capable, I am healing, I am strong, that's when the transformation begins. You become your own light. You stop waiting for others to validate your worth, because you've finally seen it with your own eyes. And yes, the journey will still be hard. There will be days when you feel tired, alone, unseen. But on those days, look at yourself and remind your soul, I may not be there yet, but I'm not who I was yesterday. Your self-belief becomes your fuel. Your self-love becomes your armor. And your thoughts intentional, positive, focused become the bridge between your current self and your highest potential. Speak life into your path every day. I am strong. I am focused. I am growing. I will not give up. Because when your mind commits to you, your heart follows, and when your heart believes, your actions begin to rise with power, and from that alignment, your life transforms. Understand this. Self-discipline isn't just routines and habits. It's self-respect. It's deciding that your future is worth fighting for, even on the days you feel weak. So here's the truth, and it's meant for you, yes, you reading this. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, Not when it's easier. Now, you've waited long enough for the motivation, for the perfect time, for someone to give you permission. But what you really needed was the truth. And the truth is, everything you've been searching for already lives inside you. Every sentence you've just read was written for the fighter, within the part of you that knows. You're meant for more. That's done surviving and ready to rise. This isn't just motivation. This is a wake-up call, a mirror, a signal to stop wasting your power, to stop shrinking, to stop doubting your fire. You are not here to live small. You were built for more. If you have the courage to keep showing up day after day, through the dark, through the pain, through the loneliness, your life will become unrecognizable. Not only because of what you achieve, but because of who you become. So if something in this message struck a chord in your soul, if even one word felt written for you, don't stop here. Subscribe not just to a channel, but to a new life. A life of strength, discipline, growth, clarity, and unstoppable belief. This is where your journey begins. Your future self is watching. Don't let them down. Let's go.